Alright, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Irons and Chill with
Oh, well,
myself
I thought you were horses.
and the very surprised voice of Andrew Brazier, who's with me this week. How are you, mate?
Oh, I've been ill all week. I felt like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, you don't sound too
Awful.
bad, to be fair. You promised me a husky voice earlier. You don't actually sound that bad. So,
It's because I've been spending the last hour clearing my throat.
lovely,
Like,
lovely. Oh yeah, and it's your week off as well, isn't it?
yes, it just rub it in.
Yeah, well.
Rub it in.
Right. So, how was your? Well, it's been a while since we actually last recorded. The first episode is now finally up on the YouTube channel. We had a lot of issues with sorting out the Dropbox and the video files and everything else. That's why it took so long for it to go up. But it is up. Head over to Irons and Chill YouTube channel. I'll leave it. I mean, I can't remember the full URL, but search it on YouTube.
I think it's what you just said.
Is it really?
Like, be youtube.com/Irons and Chill. We've got Twitter now, so Twitter's at Irons. Yeah, that one.
Irons and Chill. Yeah. We're fucking good at
that
this,
one.
aren't we? Jesus.
Link will be in the description, and like.
To be honest, if you're watching this, you found the channel. So you don't need us to tell you where to go, do you? So,
you poor bastard.
Yeah.
Go click something else. What are you doing?
So, football's back, which is good. Finally, after what seemed like a fucking eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, if you support our team, it's not been a great weekend. But for everyone else, ups and downs for everyone else. And I think for the neutrals, a lot of really good games, especially kicked off on the Friday. All went a bit mad with 7 goals in the first. I think it was like 7 goals in the first game with Arsenal and Leicester, and then 6 with Liverpool and Watford.
I was going to say that Friday game set the tone for the entire weekend, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it did in more ways than one. It was. I'd say it was a weekend of just a perfect mixture of really awful defending and really good attacking play, just blended perfectly together. For a whole weekend.
Get used to that, Liverpool fans. It's going to be a whole fucking season for you.
Sorry, Wes, if you're watching, mate. But yeah, but just before we actually do get into it, I just want to quickly people have been retweeting and sharing the stuff we've been putting on Twitter and stuff. Special shout out to Hammers and Chat who gave us a retweet with stuff, which is really awesome for them to do, and also Baz, who was just a genuine good guy. So. Let's just get straight into it, mate. I'm guessing you watched the Arsenal Leicester game on the Friday?
Yes.
What did you
I
think?
wasn't going to fucking miss that. Wait, did I watch it all? No, I didn't watch it all. I saw the second half. The first half I had to listen to on a bloody train. If you go back on my Twitter, you see me moaning. I was like, I can't believe the first fucking game of the Premier League and I'm on the C2C. But yeah, no, I missed the first half. So I missed the... How quick did they score?
It was pretty much the first attack. Brilliant ball in, I think, from Bellerin. I can't remember off the top of my head though, but just right onto the noggin of Lacazette. Literally his second touch, his first touch being a kickoff.
Yeah, so, amazing.
I mean, given in the previous episode we were saying there's no guarantees. He might not settle into the league. He scored with his first touch, so he's gone some way to making us look a bit sick. To be fair to him,
he's mugged us off, hasn't he? Wouldn't sign for us.
No, he wouldn't have done. No, if he signed for us, he would have got injured in the first game. He would have broke his leg or something. That's just what happens with us. But then it was mad because basically it's the funny thing with Arsenal is I think you can always rely on them for some form of consistency in the fact that it's going to be the same shit pretty much every season with them. They're going to be absolutely blinding going forward. And in terms of their attacking play, and bear in mind, I don't think Sanchez obviously didn't play because he's injured.
Having a strop.
Yeah, basically. And Ozil plays, but arguably may or may not have been fully match fit. But the other thing you can rely on them is their absolute inability to defend anything, especially crosses into the box.
Especially with that makeshift back three.
Well, this is the thing. There's a siren going off in the background, which is fantastic. But yeah, you touched on the makeshift defence of Arsenal, and it's baffling, right? Because Arsenal had this thing going into the season, knowing that Mustafi was going to be injured, knowing that Koscielny was going to be suspended, and knowing that Rob Holding was going to be their only fit centre back. Which does beg the question why Wenger thought it'd be a good idea to stick with a back three when you only have one fit centre back.
Because I think he may have, I doubt it, but he may have looked at it as whether I go 4 at the back or 3 at the back, I'm fucked either way.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I felt I can't. I just felt bad for like the. I mean, because I saw a lot of people give Rob Holding a lot of shit, and I think Rob Holding, for his age, like up and coming, very good young centre back, and
Yeah.
I think he'll go on to actually do quite well. Maybe not be a world beater, but be a very competent.
Yeah.
Maybe backup centre back for England one day. Like who that might. I mean, who knows? But I saw him cop a lot of flack, and people saying, "Oh well, that's he's clearly not ready to step up." But I'm like, well, he's one of the youngest centre backs at the first team centre backs at the club, and he's having to sort of manage that back three, given that he's got 2 full backs playing as his other two centre backs.
And it's
so I
not,
kind of felt
not
bad
normal.
for him.
It's not normally a formation they play neither, is it?
Well, it's only a new one. He brought it in towards the back end of last season when things were going really fucking bad for him.
When everyone decided to copy Chelsea, like
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leicester got straight back into it. Jamie Vardy looking like his old self. Obviously, the whole shit show of last season seems to have fully worn off for it. Like for a lot of that Leicester team, and
if he would like to keep that form continuous into the World Cup,
that would be good. That would be
be nice. that would be nice.
Yeah. But then before you knew it, Leicester were 2-1 up. Just comical defending from Arsenal, inability to same problems, inability to defend crosses, inability to defend set pieces, and Leicester were pretty ruthless. And then they went to the break at 2-2. I think Danny Welbeck grabbing the equaliser for him. I think this was like nearly a week ago, so my memory's not great. And then obviously you said you started watching from the second half, and it was more the same pretty much. I mean, it was another.
Yeah, it was. It was end to end.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think you watch so many sort of opening games of the season, and it's very rarely that entertaining. It's normally very tight, very sort of cagey or whatever. But I know you only watched it from the second half, but did you see anything from Arsenal that might lead you to believe they may actually go on to do something this season, or are we like?
No.
Or is our predictions in the first episode pretty much still nailed on?
No. They're not going to win anything. Maybe an FA Cup, but that's being generous. Like defensively, they are fucking shocking. Like they'd have been better off going with them Sports Direct cut out cardboard things in defence. Do you know what I mean? Like they were just like going forward, they were amazing. And like whether they keep Sanchez or whether they don't keep Sanchez, they're still going to score goals 100%. But they're just inept at defending. They suck at it so bad.
Yeah.
And that's going to be their downfall massively.
Again.
Considering how the likes of Manchester United look at the moment, who look fucking ruthless. They look the real deal. Tottenham basically just look like Tottenham from last year, and Man City look no different. No different. They look exactly the same as how they did last year. There was nothing about that other game which made me sit there and go, "Oh, they look good." Like it's just Man City.
Yeah, right? I would say they looked a bit more tighter defensively, but then they were playing Brighton, so who didn't really attack them very much. So it's I imagine if like when Leicester go to play Man City, that's going to be the real teams like Leicester, sort of fast attacking teams. That's going to be the real test for them, I think. But yeah, What's sort of baffling with Arsenal's situation at the moment is though I was on Twitter earlier and I saw that they're offloading Gabriel to like Valencia for like 10 million.
It's very strange. He could have played the other day, couldn't he? Or was he injured?
I'm not sure. I was led to believe he was injured, but
they just forgot they had him.
You must. I mean, if they don't bring in any other defensive cover, they're again leaving themselves so thin for the season because it's not unlike Koscielny to either cop a suspension or an injury.
Yeah.
Mustafi, he missed quite a bit last season for injury. Mertesacker didn't play because he had a fucking cut on his face, and that apparently meant he couldn't play with football.
It did cop a mash though. He really caught one.
Like I saw the picture. It was just like it'd all been stitched up and everything. It's like just wear like a fucking bit of headgear or something.
Yeah, Batman mask. That's all you are.
Like meant to be a big fucking lumpy German centre back. It's all got to come. It's not great. I think it's not enough. I think with the Lacazette signing for Arsenal, because I think I kind of get the impression they're kind of hoping that spending all that money and having the whole, we broke our transfer record on this new striker, and it's like, yeah, great, we've still conceded 3 goals on the opening game of the season though, and needed a last minute winner from Giroud.
I am. See, the thing is, if you turn around and you start predicting that league table, it's going to be difficult because all it is one game that's gone by. Do you know what I mean? And if you're listening to West Ham fans at the moment, we might as well be in League 2. But I think going off at the back end of Arsenal last season and that first game this season, I think they struggle to make top 4 at the moment.
Oh yeah, and there's been no. It's like you said, it's difficult to make predictions, but based off one game. But I think for teams like Arsenal and another team who conceded 3 goals, we're going to talk about in a minute, they look no different from last season. There's you can't see any change there. You think, okay, cool.
Out of that entire weekend's games, there is only one team from that first set of games that looks any different, and we'll touch on them because you're wearing the shirt, so we have to.
Yeah, genuinely, there was nothing. There's generally, I've got another football shirt, so it's literally. Yeah. Literally just these I have to go with. But yeah, I don't. We've spoke about Arsenal. Then we've got to talk about Leicester as well, though, because I think it'd be kind of silly just to skip over them for the sake of.
They look like they look like the Leicester from 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I think I went into this season thinking that Shakespeare was going to get found out a little bit. To be perfectly honest, I thought we've seen it quite a lot that as manager comes in second half of the season, helps keep a team up, and then when it comes into the first full season, it all just falls apart again. Like, it's what happened with Swansea for the past few seasons, but that's what happened with Sunderland for the last 6-7 years before Moyes eventually took him down. But they look like the Leicester of old, really. Which
they do. That's the only way you can describe it. They literally just look like Leicester.
Yeah, I do think though that Shakespeare I kind of felt like he fucked it for them though by taking, because there was a point, I think it was when it was 3-3, I think, and he took off. Well, it might be even when they were winning. It was either 3-2 to Leicester or 3-3 at the time. But he took off a midfielder and then brought on Iheanacho, and I think moving it to a 3 up front. And I felt like he did that mainly just like give Iheanacho his debut. But it's like, well, you kind of just sacrificed a midfield player when you're either going for the point or for 3 points, and it kind of backfired a little bit. So I think little bits of novelty like that, I think obviously they'll probably improve on. But I've seen enough from Leicester to think they're going to be, they're going to be a dangerous team again this season. I mean,
definitely.
And I have to say, it was really cool to see Mahrez, I think, play for him, given that he'd said at the beginning of the season he wanted to leave, and they're obviously still trying to negotiate that. But the fact he's not
putting a Coutinho or a Sanchez, is he? And I think that's a bloke that understands that if he wants to move and he needs to prove to Roma that he's worth the 40 or 50 million euros, whatever it is that they have to pay, he's going out there and doing it. Do you know what I mean? He's not sat there and gone, well, I just won't fucking play then.
He's getting on with it, and it's. I think given the sort of shit you see more and more of these days, we went through it last season with Payet. It's just nice to see someone actually being professional and just getting on with the job.
Doing what they get paid to do.
Exactly.
So if I throw a wobbler at my work and just sit there and go, well, nah, fuck it, I want to move. Different company. They'll just look at it and go, well, you're out on your ear roll.
Yeah, exactly. If only real life was like being a footballer, but unfortunately it's not. So, and then the Saturday lunchtime kickoff was Liverpool against Watford, obviously with Marco Silva now in charge, which I think, is actually a really good appointment for Watford, I think, because he did a lot of very good things with a very shit whole side last season, and only just like came very close to keeping them up. It would just happen that other teams just had a bit more quality, like Swansea having Sigurdsson and Palace having Allardyce. So, but that was. I think a lot of people looked at that game and said, "Oh well, obviously Liverpool nailed on to win that one then," because people still seem to think Liverpool were a bit of a dominant force in the league, which on their day they can be.
The same team from 1986. Oh wait.
Yeah. Oh dear. Quite glad we're not that big just yet, because you know what Liverpool fans are like. They'll be fucking honest for that one.
We've already got one half of fucking Liverpool on our back as it is anyway in terms of Twitters. So.
Don't want both sides of most. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people what baffles me at the moment is you watch the analysis on like whatever channel the Liverpool are on, and people still seem to be a bit surprised that they're still shit defensively when they've made one reinforcement at their backline this year, which was Andrew Robertson, the left back, and he wasn't even in the squad on the weekend.
No, very strange. Like their Achilles heel is set pieces. They seem to just freeze and no longer.
Well, because they do this whole zonal marking thing, which I've never seen be effective.
It's not efficient, which is weird for a German manager.
Well, no one knows what the fuck they're doing. Do you know? And like, especially when one of your centre backs is Dejan Lovren, who is consistently one of the poorest centre backs in the league.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, Watford obviously they had a big target man up front who caused them a lot of bother, but and again, when going forward, Liverpool looked fantastic. Salah looked fucking that guy can run.
Oh yeah.
Like the pace on that geezer is fucking outstanding.
Him and Mane on the wings is no joke.
It's terrifying.
No joke at all. Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying, and especially I think having Firmino playing there, who I didn't think would be able to do the centre forward role, or maybe the main sort of lone striker role this season for him. But I've got to say he was fantastic.
Well, they had to give him a go, didn't they? Because they definitely can't rely on Sturridge.
No. You know, who summed up his career perfectly in the pre-season by scoring a goal and getting injured within the space of like 20 minutes. Like,
it was a good goal though. I won't take that away from him.
Oh, he's a great player as well. It's just such a shame that he can't keep himself fit, because that is probably one of England's best strikers.
Yeah,
top two when fit. But I mean, what I find frustrating to watch when I watch Liverpool is because I think there's something there that they could become a really good side and a really strong, sort of challenging for a league sort of side, but they just don't seem to have addressed any of the problems from last season. So okay, they brought a left back, but he didn't play, so that's no good.
Who played left back for him?
Moreno.
You know why? Because he had quite a good pre-season.
Oh, I didn't watch any pre-season, to be fair.
I watched a couple of them. He looked alright during pre-season.
He's still a complete liability defensively though, but that's the thing. It's okay, they signed one left back, no new centre backs brought into the club. What's the most frustrating part about it is it's like there's something there with that Liverpool team, that there is something that, you know, they got like sort of half the team to become challengers. I think
definitely. But
once you start working your way back down towards the defence, and it's just. And the fact that there doesn't seem to be any real emphasis to actually strengthen those areas. I mean, for a Liverpool fan, that must be really fucking infuriating.
You saying that, I was working on Saturday, so I watched the Liverpool game whilst I was at work. And afterwards, there was a guy that travelled from Watford up to my shop, and I got talking to him, and it seems like Liverpool fans are just sort of ploughing all their hope into signing Van Dijk, like thinking that he's like going to be the defensive saviour of that squad, ignoring the fact that all the other centre backs they've got are a pile of wankers it is anyway.
No, I mean, I think it would be a great signing. At this rate, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, because Southampton look to just had enough of Liverpool taking all their players.
You can't blame them.
No, of course not. But I mean, maybe having someone like Van Dijk in there would be good, to just sort of in terms of helping out with the organisation and just having a bit of a voice, because I don't think they've got any real leaders in that back line whatsoever. Like across that entire back four, I don't see anyone that actually will step up and sort of manage it, if you know what I mean. But then at the same time, they shouldn't be putting all that. It's fucking stupid to put all your eggs in one player who may or may not sign. I mean, we did that last season with Lacazette for half the window and then Baka for half the window, and we end up with fucking Simone Zaza.
Yeah.
You know, it's I still think Liverpool could get top four this season, because I think their home form's going to be key for them. And like I said, they had their days where they'll go on a couple of runs, I think, and get enough, and to get top four. But probably I reckon it'll be a dogfight between them and Arsenal for it.
Yeah.
For full spot, but
I'm not so convinced with Arsenal. I don't think they'll get fourth.
No, I would be. I mean, this could all change. We could be when we see it at the end of the window, and if any other deals have been made, we could go, oh fucking hell, actually, okay, fair enough. That's actually, some really good signings. That changes things. But I mean, fucking hell, we recorded last time we recorded was about 3 weeks ago, and in terms of those two teams especially, nothing's changed.
No, and we're 13 days away from the transfer window finishing as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's I don't know. And plus as well, it's going back to that zonal marking thing. I don't know how much, obviously you said you're at work, so I don't know how much of the sort of pre-match stuff you watched, but there was a really sort of funny argument on Sky Sports between Carragher and Redknapp. And Redknapp was saying that, if Van Dijk's there, that wouldn't happen. Like that last goal, the equaliser wouldn't happen. But Carragher's making a point to go, well, no, it would have. Because it's zonal marking, if you swapped him out for one of the other centre-backs, they'd still have fucking Roberto Firmino marking the 6-foot target man.
Exactly.
So what can Van Dijk do if he's fucking nowhere near the bloke who actually caused all the problems in the first place? Which I thought was quite funny because I hate Jamie Redknapp and I think he's a knob. So it was good to see Carragher put him in his place.
He is a bit of a helmet.
So, I mean, I think most people probably predicted Arsenal to win the first game. I think some people may have predicted a possible draw for Liverpool away from home. Watford had a new manager. What I don't think anyone predicted was Burnley going to Stamford Bridge and being 3-0 up before half-time.
I was working in Chelsea as well.
Yeah, how was that for you?
It was fantastic for me.
Yeah.
But the weird thing with the Chelsea fans was the game finished and they were celebrating like they'd won.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. No one looked pissed. No one. Everyone seemed fine.
They're a weird bunch, aren't they?
First game of the season or not? If you've been we'll ignore the scoreline that we lost by against United because it's Manchester United.
Yeah.
If we'd have been beaten like that by Burnley, we'd be pissed. At home, we'd be pissed.
Yeah.
All the Chelsea fans I saw, and I get my train from Fulham Broadway, which is their station, so the majority of their fans leave through there, man. They look like they didn't give a fuck. Singing, fucking...
Maybe there was in some sort of maybe there was some sort of shock state and it hadn't really set in yet.
Possibly. But I mean, the upset for him is there at the moment. All the unrest with Costa wanting to go to, thinking that the transfer window's with, I will name a club and you will send me there, not realising.
The thing is, any other player, I'd be surprised. With him, I'm just like, yeah, no, that's something you definitely would do. He's Diego Costa, he's a fucking mentalist.
Exactly.
This, to me, has shades. Well, this seems to be a bit of deja vu when it comes to Chelsea.
Yes.
I'm guessing you agree.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's got that those echoes of that season when Mourinho was out just before Christmas. It's got it there.
Because you think the catalyst seemed to be for Chelsea. Well, I don't mean the reason why it happens, but the first sort of cracks that we saw with Mourinho there was the doctor situation.
And he threw a wobbler on the sidelines, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, fucking
Conte.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was going mad at, but he looked good.
I think it was for one of the red cards, which I mean, I get it. It's the current laws of the game means the Cahill one was a red card, but I still think it's harsh.
Yeah.
I thought the Fabregas one was worse.
That was definitely a red. Definitely a red.
Well, he only got a second yellow. It wasn't like a straight red. He just gave him a second yellow, then sent him off, which means he only missed one game. But
it was a second yellow though, 100%.
Oh no, yeah. I think my point is I think it was a worse challenge than Cahill's one, in my opinion.
I guess so. Yeah.
But yeah, I think with Conte, because throughout the whole summer he's been saying about all the stories have been there about he's not happy about the lack of signings and he's frustrated, and obviously before the game you think the whole Matic going to Manchester United, and when asked about it he goes, "Oh, talk to the board about it." Basically going to the press, well, the board sold him, had nothing to do with me.
Well, there's rumours that he's genuinely not happy with being in London anyway, isn't there? His family,
really?
His family still lives out in Italy, and bits and bobs like that. So,
I haven't heard those sort of rumours. I've only been hearing the sort of just he's not happy with the board not spending it. Well, I say not spending any money. That's not but not getting the players that he needs.
And over the top of that, I mean, Diego Costa's been with Chelsea for a good few years now, hasn't he?
Mm.
Which means all of that first team he's going to be quite pally with. If he puts it out in the press that he's been ousted from a team through a text message,
Yeah.
it's only going to take one more, which then could beg the question, was Matic sold because he maybe voiced something that he didn't agree with the way that Diego Costa was being treated.
Well,
or
this
whatever.
supposedly wouldn't be the first time that that Chelsea squad has some sort of effect on the manager in a negative way. Like, obviously, there's never been any clarification on what exactly happened behind the scenes when Mourinho was there. I reckon it'll come out in a book in about 10 years or so.
Probably.
But like I said, it all seems to be there, and it's a really good point you made. Like, if Costa puts it out there that he found out via a text message, and let's say, for example, the squad didn't know about that until he put it out in the press himself, then, if one of your mates has just been screwed over like that, not screwed over, but been told he's no longer needed.
I would say screwed over is a fair term.
It's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
He was third top scorer in the Premier League last season?
Yeah. Yeah. Whole thing was handled horrifically, from Conte's point of view, and if you find that's happened to one of your mates and you're not going to be happy about it and you're going to be pissed off at the boss.
Yeah. Costa being Costa, there is no touch of class to this at all.
No.
And the fact that the club's turned around and said, you've got to come back, we want you to play, and him outright refusing whilst partying it in Brazil, and then, quote unquote, I want to be back at Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
He's not exactly helping his cause at all.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Hazard?
What's wrong with Hazard? I think he's injured. I think he got injured during pre-season.
Oh, okay, so he's got an actual injury then. So it's not
I would assume so. That's all I've read. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I would assume if it was anything more than that, or it wasn't an injury, that it would have come out in the press by now. It just would have.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they looked like I watched our match today, and they looked so
shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's no other word for it. Just total shit. And like how they were under that season under Mourinho.
There weren't an element of panic from them until they were 3-0 down, and then it was like
there wasn't an element of panic. There wasn't an element. There didn't seem to be an element of fight or any real desire to get back into. No one taking the game by the scruff of the neck.
That could have easily finished 4-2 as well, considering Burnley had that free kick pinged off the bar.
Yeah. And bearing in mind, they completely lost their discipline. And Morata had an effect when he came on, and he looks like he could settle fairly well in the league. I mean, he did look really fucking good when he came on.
Yeah.
But and again, obviously, it's only off one game. We can't predict the whole season off of that. But like I said, there just seems to be I felt like I was in a sort of weird time warp from a couple of years ago. Where I'm just like, oh, it's happening again. It's happening again, all exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It is a weird one. I've got to say, though, I don't understand the whole. I can understand why Conte's a bit pissed about selling Matic to a rival, but selling him full stop. I mean, why would you sign Bakayoko? Do you know what I mean?
He's 29, Matic, isn't he? I think he's 29. So you could argue the case that he's in the prime of his career as well. It's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, we've got no chance of being able to figure that out because Sky Sports fucking commentators that get paid a shitload of money can't even justify that move properly.
Selling him if Conte wanted him gone, just because he didn't find it with the Bakayoko sign, didn't think, well, I can't really fit him into the team. I get that, but I don't understand why you would just flog him off to someone who's obviously going to be challenging for the league this year. It's mental. Yeah. It's like when Arsenal sold Manchester United Van Persie. I know the circumstances are a bit different, but they still sold United the league that year.
Unless Matic wanted to move.
Maybe.
What was pushed out in the press isn't bullshit. He legit wanted to work with Jose Mourinho again.
Yeah.
Which you could understand it.
Yeah, you could. I think maybe it's a case of Conte probably did want him to go, but didn't expect the board to go to send him to Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they thought, maybe he figured, okay, we'll look to push him on, and maybe a foreign team will come in for him.
But But then the second argument could also be if they're the only ones that have the money to be able to stump up, then
Yeah.
you look at you look at the other big clubs in England and Europe. They've all got a defensive midfielder. But then saying that, Juventus are on the verge of signing fucking who is it?
Matuidi.
Yeah, Matuidi for like 16 million.
Yeah, 18. I think it is just over 18
Insane.
million, which is it's fucking ridiculous. And then you got Danny Drinkwater being quoted at 40 million. Like, we spoke about it last time about you just can't talk about price in the Premier League because it's just a bit of a moot point at this by now, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
It's fucking mental. Some of the prices that are being quoted.
Mad.
But yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know. Do you think this is a one-off for Chelsea, or do you think this is really going to be like like we predicted Spurs to really struggle this season? Do you think Chelsea could go a similar route, or do you reckon Conte's got more about him to pull it back?
Ask me next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Who's they got this weekend? It's Arsenal, isn't it? Or is it Tottenham? No, it's Tottenham at Wembley.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to quickly Google and have a quick check.
Yeah, go on, Google that shit.
Yeah. Because if that's true,
I'm pretty sure it's Tottenham away.
that's mental. But yeah, like, I mean, well, if that's Tottenham away, then that's going to be huge. Then, if that is the case, because you think that's Tottenham are going to go into that first home game of the season thinking we need to prove a lot of people wrong here, because pretty much everyone has said they're going to struggle at Wembley this year.
Yeah.
And Chelsea have come off the back of a 3-1 home or 3-2 home defeat to Burnley.
Yeah.
So that is going to be mental. What are the fucking fixtures loading up? Here we go.
You might as well leave that up, mate.
Huh?
You might as well leave that fixture list up.
Yeah, I might have to.
Like,
Yeah, because they're playing on a fucking Sunday. It's not going on. This is professional, isn't it? You are right, yeah. Away at Chelsea on Sunday. That's going to be huge, that game.
Yeah.
That is going to be a big one.
It's probably the game of the weekend, really, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, I can see... I don't know. I think I could see Chelsea turning up, I think.
I hope so. I
hope so as well.
I don't like either of them, but any excuse to watch Tottenham lose.
Yeah, I just don't know if I just don't know if Spurs would have got over that hangover that quickly to go and. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea nicked it. More likely, I reckon, it'll be a draw. But
I hope not.
You think, especially if Morata starts, it'll be his first start. He'll be ready to go.
He looks good. He looks lively.
Yeah, I think the key is for them is keep Willian in that squad. He's their best player. In my opinion.
By a mile. He's so good on the ball as well.
And I'm criminally underrated as well. Like criminally underrated.
I guess if you've got Hazard in the team, you're always going to be under his shadow. Isn't it? Maybe he should go for another £200 million move to Juventus.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
But speaking of Tottenham, we might as well talk about that game quick. That was a really good, interesting game.
That was Newcastle were fucking terrible. They really Okay, no, that's harsh. That is harsh.
That's not fair. They started good. They started good, and I think it's Shelby, mate. Shelby fucked him. Like,
he's a prick. Like that was peak Joey Barton, is what that was. Do you know what I mean? Like that was sort of like, do your best Joey Barton impressions. Okay, yeah, I'll try and casually stamp on someone directly in front of the referee. Which, when has that ever worked?
Never.
Do you know what I mean? How many times have we seen it?
If the ref hadn't have caught him, he only would have got a 3-match ban later for.
Exactly.
For
like which.
Conduct, so.
Okay, they may have held on for a draw, but it still fucks them it will fuck them in the long run regardless. And I mean, I thought I did because up until that point I didn't think Spurs. It didn't look like they were actually really going to score.
No. See, that's the thing. Watching Spurs, and like I was watching that game with my old man, and one of the first things he said was like, they don't look particularly lively. Like,
no.
I don't know whether that was just a mental mindset of like, we're going to Newcastle, they ain't got no one special, we ain't got to try hard to win this, and they had them penned up like backs up against the wall for like half an hour because they were giving it a fucking good go. Like, yeah.
But, and like I said, okay, yeah, me saying they were terrible is harsh on my part, but I think
They were terrible after the first goal.
Yeah, I just think I think overall they look like a very well organised championship team. Like, because they haven't really. Again, it's like we said last time. They haven't really brought in anyone that.
No.
They're not going to do anything brilliant this year. I think they'll probably. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they get relegated. I think Benitez, if he stays for the whole season, he'll keep them up.
They're one of my teams for relegation.
I think if Benitez stays for the whole season, he probably might just keep them up. But if he fucks off, they're screwed. Like, they are royally screwed. But Spurs, it looked fairly run of the mill. The goal will come eventually. Shelby obviously handed it on a plate to him, but
just a box standard game, isn't it? For them.
It was box standard. I think the real test for them is going to be against Chelsea at the weekend, because that's a team who's got a point to prove, and that's a team who, like we said, they've got a new striker who's just scored in his Premier League debut. He's getting his first start, and they're playing at Wembley again. Which, bear in mind, they lost to that ground the last couple of times now they've played there.
Yeah.
So they ain't going to want to make that three on the spin. But yeah, I've got to bring this up as well, because this is watching the game. It just got on my nerves after a while. Dele Alli's a cunt, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he is. Me and my dad were talking about that. Before the game started, we were turning around and saying, one of the ways that Newcastle could win this is winding Dele Alli up. Because he's a really good footballer, but he's a vicious little cunt. He just... He can't help himself. And he's a clever little shit, really, because he managed to flip it round so that Shelby was the one that ended up fucking popping back at him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I thought there'd be a red card in that game. I just didn't think it would be to Newcastle. But I thought Ali was going to eventually snap it, because he was getting kicks like throughout most of the game,
but it was working.
You could see,
because he was
you
could see him breaking, and that's all you got to do against him. It's just wind him up to the point where. But all the press conferences after, the gaffer's had a word with me and he's told me to improve my attitude and whatnot. Fuck off, you little bastard! Like, we could see you breaking during the game anyway, without standing there and going, but there's something I've got to look at to sort out my game. Fuck off! Like, he'll get at least 2 red cards. He'll get at least 2 red cards this season, guaranteed.
I think
he can't help himself.
But yeah,
he cannot help himself. He's a magnificent footballer, but he's
Joey Barton with a talent, isn't
he? Yeah, I'd say.
Like, if Joey Barton was a good player,
he just snaps too quick. That's Dele Alli's problem. Like, now, I couldn't give a toss, to be honest. When he's got a Tottenham shirt on, I couldn't give a fuck whether he gets himself sent off, scores like 18 goals in one game or whatever. I couldn't care. But that boy plays for my national team. The World Cup's next year. If he decides to fucking throw a wobbler during one of those games and gets himself a red card, everyone's going to sit there, including Spurs fans, and go, "You're a prick."
Yep.
Like,
and it won't be the first time we've seen. Won't be the first time we've seen players with less of a shitty attitude get done, like Beckham and Rooney off the top of my head. Like,
it's happened to all the young decent talent in the past, isn't it? Like, and it has Rooney, fucking Beckham,
it is a concern.
If he got that out of his game, he'd be quality. Harry Kane didn't score. Good.
Should have got sent off, in my opinion.
That'd have been nice.
Did you see the tackle where he lamped in on one of their new defenders? I can't remember his name, but it was a proper maybe not should have been sent off, but a lot of people basically said if that was anyone other than Harry Kane, that is 70% more likely a red card.
It doesn't stick in my memory, to be honest.
Right. It was a shitty, looked like a 2-footed tackle to me, but...
Did he get a pull for it? Did he not even get a telling off? Or
I think he got a yellow card. He got a yellow for it, but...
At least the referee did something.
I just want bad things to happen to them. That is basically the truth of it.
That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is the dream. But Spurs look like Spurs. Incredibly underwhelming football to win a game. Oh man, that game was so underwhelming.
It was. I wouldn't say that's typical of them though, because on their day they are brilliant on their day.
I will. I'm gonna stick with my guns on that one.
Yeah, I have to stand up from that one. Like when they.
I backed him last episode.
Yeah,
Can't have them looking at me. We can't have them looking at me for like. Maybe the knobbing with the wonky eyes will back us up again. No, not this time. But yeah, no. Next game. We're putting off. We keep putting off the obvious. We're gonna have to talk about it. At least we didn't lead in with it this episode.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay, so.
Do you want me to start this one, or do you want to
start? No, go on, you can start this one.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
West Ham's first game of the season. It went that well that we're currently sitting bottom of the table with -4 goal difference. Fucking come on, you Irons.
Yeah, speaking of teams, don't fucking look any different from last season. Okay. Okay. Here's my thing with it. I'm not getting too carried away, I don't think, because it is it's the first game of the season. Yes. So it is away at a team that is more than likely going to win the league this year, I think.
Yes.
3, we had Antonio, Lanzini, notably those two, Antonio and Lanzini out, and we also had Chiarte out, who I think was a miss. Three of our best players all missing.
No Snodgrass, didn't even make the bench.
Yeah, well, I mean, like...
which really tickled me.
3 defenders, not ideal, but no Snodgrass, so, swings and roundabouts, I suppose.
Exactly.
I thought, up until the first goal, I thought we actually looked quite compact, quite well organised. We would limit them to very few chances. Pony going forward, though. Like, throughout the whole game. That, like, apart from, like, I can remember 3 chances we had.
Yeah, the shot bang at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
We looked too scared to go forward. We looked fucking petrified. Like, Hernandez. You see people on Twitter giving Hernandez stick?
No.
Yeah, some people were on there going, he was one of our worst fucking players of the day. It's like, suck my dick, right? That boy relies on service. That boy was getting 0 service.
Yeah, he worked his nuts off as well, to be fair to him. Like
he was coming back in deep to try and chase that ball down. The amount of tackles that they were kicking 7 fucking shades of shit out of that boy as well.
Yeah, yeah, they were.
I mean, I don't like the South American collapse and hold onto my legs and roll around. Like, I'd quite like it if he stopped that. Like,
like I said, I thought for the first, let's say, half an hour, we looked like we were coping, just about, like, and
just about.
Just about. Like, I thought, okay, they probably are going to score soon, but like, if we keep this up and just added about 10 more %, we might just completely shut them out of the game.
If there were half an hour halves, we'd be all right.
First goal goes in, and then obviously, like you said, we missed the chance at the. I've kind of skipped over this. First goal goes in because of Pedro Obiang giving the ball away in the midfield and Zabaleta being caught out too far forward. I'm not going to blame Zabaleta for that one because
he had a stonking game. Zabaleta had a stonking game. But,
he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Obiang, though. Easily the worst performance I've seen from him in a West Ham shirt. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say he should be dropped, like I've seen some people say.
No,
like,
first game of the season.
First game of the season. Just come back with a 4-month injury as well.
Yeah, against Manchester United. It's just that no one was going to be aware of what level of Manchester United we were going to come up against. We were either going to get fucking baked David Moyes Manchester United, or we were going to get the reincarnation of Alex Ferguson's himself, Man United.
Yeah,
we got that one.
At the same time, though, at the same time, like, and as good as United were, we honestly didn't help ourselves, I don't think. And
no,
like you said, okay, first goal goes in, just a constant theme out first half, which was just sloppy fucking passing from the midfield. I mean, I'm not going to include Noble in that, actually. I thought Noble was actually one of the better. Out of that midfield 3, he was the best one, I thought.
Who was in midfield? Noble,
Obiang. Fernandez. Fernandez and Noble.
Yeah, fair.
Like, I'm not going to lay into Fernandez too much either. The kid's still young and he's still learning. And if everyone's fit, you don't start Fernandez at Old Trafford, but he didn't really have a choice, I don't think.
No.
Like, but it's his choice either was start Fernandez as the sort of attacking midfielder, or play Ayew there and put Snodgrass on the pitch. And the shitstorm, if Snodgrass had started that game, would have been monumental. Like, Twitter would have exploded.
Saying that though, I think the worst player on that fucking pitch for us was Ayew.
Yeah, he was awful.
He was
not a winner.
You summed it up perfectly when you were messaging me. It's like it was like he was buffering.
Yeah, that's exactly and I saw this throughout pre-season, and not that I never pay attention to results and all that sort of stuff pre-season, but the amount of time, especially in the City game, where people were sort of knocking balls for him to run onto, and every single time he just couldn't get there, he couldn't catch up to it.
No.
Whereas if that's Antonio, 9 times out of 10 he gets there.
Do you know what was going through my head whilst he was playing? We've got Feghouli on a jet on his way to Turkey, who can run. He's quick. Yeah. He's very fucking quick. But no, we've gone with Andre Ayew. Who do you used to play for? Swansea and
Marseille, yeah. I think the problem is, though, he's not... We obviously were looking to play counter-attacking in that game. Ayew ain't got the legs to play counter-attacking.
No. You could finish that sentence without that end bit. Just Andre Ayew hasn't got the legs.
He hasn't. He's more of a number 10 because his link-up play is stunking, I think. In terms of when you see him in you saw him and Lanzini linking up last season.
Even then, though, it was one too many stray passes from him from our lot. And I know you can turn around and say the rest of the team's passing was way off during that game, but for me, he stood out it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I weren't impressed. To be honest,
no, it was poor.
I never was a fan of the bloke to begin with, and I'm not sitting here and just saying it because he's had a shit game.
Yeah. No, you said last week you weren't massive.
Yeah, no, I wasn't when he was at Swansea, and I'm not whilst he's here. He scored a couple of goals against us. Fair play, you bastard. And not against us, for us, sorry. But for me, he was shit.
Yeah, he was.
He was shit. Him and fucking Arthur.
Oh, Arthur. Arthur.
I've backed that geezer in the past. I've often turned around and said, but do you know what pissed me off? Lukaku's second goal.
Yeah.
Oh, stand there and laugh. What the fuck are you laughing for?
Maybe because he knew it was about to happen.
Possibly.
He's going to score in a minute.
No. But
personally, I level more blame at Winston Reid for that goal than I do in terms of who should have been picking him up. That you can't. If you're Winston Reid, you can't be letting your left back, who's not the greatest defensively anyway, be marking the 6 foot fucking. However fucking big he is, centre forward, who is an absolute tank, who always scores against us. You cannot be letting that left back fucking mark him for a free kick. The way he stood there and just sort of let him run, he just let him run, and basically sort of I think basically sort of threw Masuaku under the bus a little bit. I'm not saying Masuaku didn't have a shit game. He had a shocking game defensively, and I think what we've learned, if you're taking last season Masuaku and this season's Masuaku into account, is that bloke is much better off playing in a back five as a wing back.
Yeah.
Where if he does bomb forward,
so he's got a license to get forward.
Yeah.
And he's always got someone covering him if he's not back quick enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not. I still reckon play him for the next game because you got to give him another chance. But I wouldn't at the same time. I wouldn't be surprised if Cresswell gets called up to start against Southampton.
Why didn't Cresswell start that game?
He wanted to start Masuaku. Masuaku performed better in pre-season. Which he did. He did, to be fair to him. Masuaku was blinded in pre-season.
Yeah, no, he was all right. But I think if your first game of the season is against Manchester United, I think for me you favour a left back that has played against that team more. I think someone who's used to that level, because the thing that stood out for me was when Masuaku was standing there laughing, and it's like, you don't stand there and laugh. You don't, because that's going to be aired on national TV, and then it's going to pop up on Match of the Day 8 hours later. Then every fucking West Ham fan, along with me, is going to sit there and go, who the fuck does he think he is?
Yeah.
But he was bad, but I think Ayew was worse.
Ayew was the worst. I think Ayew was. I think Ayew and Obiang, for me, out of the two of them were. Well, actually, no, because Obiang, I thought defensively wise, especially in the first half, was cleaning up quite well. But
the thing is with Obiang is that the magnifying glass is going to be put on him way more because it was his fuck up that led up to the goal. If that goal hadn't have happened, everyone would have just sat there and gone, Obiang, meh.
Like I feel for him a little bit. Like he put there was an article went up on the website this morning or earlier today being like, and it was him basically being like, oh, you know, sort of trying to not justify himself, but obviously just be like, I know I didn't play very well, but I've obviously come back from a 4-month injury. Like I need a bit of time to get back to my best. And it's like I didn't really feel that there was need to do that. Like I think most people were actually quite understanding and forgiving of him because he was one of our better players last season.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that he slaved after his worst performance of the club.
It didn't cast over to me. Obiang he had a bad game, but he didn't. It didn't enter my mind of like he was the worst player on the pitch. Why I've not mentioned his name. The only two people that stand out for me for fucking stinkers are Arthur and fucking Ayew, man. I'm pissed with that guy. Like, to be honest, if I don't see him again in a shirt for like the next 4 or 5 games, I'll be happy because I've always thought he's pony. And every time he's on the pitch, he just cements that fault of me thinking that he's pony. Like, and I know some people are going to sit there and go, "But he's fucking amazing." Like, but he's not. That, is he?
I think there's a middle ground between both those arguments. I don't think he's completely pony. I don't think he's useless. I think there's. Like I said, so I think the back end of the last season, I think he was good for us, and he was in a really good bit of form. When he came back from the African Cup of Nations, and he sort of got back in the first team, but he wasn't really being used as a winger. He was being more used as that sort of playing just off the striker, but did drift out like an inside forward pretty much, which I think what Arnautovic is going to do for us this season. And I think
shout out to Arnautovic as well. Actually, sorry that you just mentioned his name because a couple of people on Twitter again, shock, turned around and gone, "Oh, Arnautovic shit game." It's like I didn't think he was that bad.
I didn't think it was terrible. I think there's only so much he can do. He definitely. I think him like the rest of the team just completely faded away by the sort of hour mark when we knew we weren't going to get back into it. But when him and like I said, when the rest of the team were up for it, like, and plus you know what I saw in the first half, he was tracking back. He was helping out with the defensive side of things, which we were led to believe wasn't going to be a thing. But you know, he was pulling his weight for the most part. But like I touched on there, I think. This is my biggest frustration with the whole thing. If we'd have come away from that game losing 2, even 3-0, but we kept just trying to not concede, like, you know, still defensively trying not to concede any more goals. I can take
it on the chin. Yeah.
What I can't take is what we saw so much of last season. Just we get to a certain point in the game where they know they're not getting back into it. And their heads just completely fucking drop and they completely roll over and drop arse. Happened against Arsenal. We were 3-1 down with 10 minutes to go and they fucking gave up and we lost 5-1. Happened against Man City in the FA Cup. We were 3-0 down in like what 20 like that. I don't know how long it fucking took, but before you knew it was 5-0. Yeah. And there was it happened again like in that game, and I don't know what it is, but that mentality needs to fuck off sharpish because we can't just give up and roll over every time now and lose games 4-5-0.
And there's almost like an element of like throwing a strop there as well. It's like toys out of the pram, we're losing 2-0.
Just sort of, we can't win, fuck it. I scored again. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's sort of playing with a frame of mind of like, well, this has started, I can't wait until it finishes.
It's not good enough. It ain't fucking good enough. Like, I like the fact Hernandez is out there fucking getting pissy at people and fucking like, because you saw towards the end of it, he's coming in deep. No one's making any fucking runs for him.
Nope.
You see it several amount of times in that second half. I saw him on the ball, like fucking good, like look around going, like someone run, someone fucking run and give me an option so I can get in the box. At one point, he was playing as a fucking winger.
There's one other geezer, whose name I forgot to mention, but I'm only going to mention him now because you brought up Hernandez and he was playing alongside him in that second half. Sacco. He needs to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way that man can have the front to stand there and order people about and then just simply allow people to run past him.
Yeah.
Just stand there and not do anything. Cunt. Yeah. Like,
fucking,
he should not... that man should not grace a West Ham shirt again.
What bugs me with that is he didn't play a single minute of pre-season and then he gets thrown onto the bench and gets brought on against Manchester United, where I think I don't personally think Martinez is ready for the Premiership, but he did more in pre-season than Sacco did in the entirety of last season.
Yeah.
To justify a place on that bench.
it was his attitude. I think for me it'd be different if he'd have come off the bench and then fucking like give it some. Just come off the bench. Do you know what I mean? Put fucking shift in with whatever minutes there was left to go. But it was the fact that he come on and the most people got out of him was a ball that just hit him, I think, or did it miss him?
It was when the corner came in, he sort of headed it, but it wasn't a really good connection, and it made it look like he was trying to head it down for Ayew, but I thought he was going for goal personally and just fucked it. But
yeah, same for me. But it was the fact that he had the front to just stand there and order people about, but yet at the same time just let Manchester United players just run past him. Didn't even the thought didn't even occur to him to sort of stick a leg out or something. He just literally just he's gone. Like he can fuck off. Like he needs to fuck off as well. Release the prick. Release him. Like arsehole. Oh.
Yeah, so not best placed after the result.
I was expecting it. I was expecting it. Like,
you know, like I said, that's for me is the biggest disappointment. It was just sort of shades of last season where that mentality of just like, oh well. Yeah. Let's just fucking give them as many goals as they want then, because we ain't winning, so fuck it, what does it matter?
I'm writing that one off.
For the most part, I'm writing it off, but that concerns me. That mentality that's still being there concerns me.
Season starts against Newcastle for me, because the way I see it, they're not great. They've lost one of their best players.
For me, it starts against Southampton. I'll judge us against Southampton, because Southampton ain't fucking top four.
I'm going to level with you. I thought our next game was against Newcastle.
I was going to say, fucking hell. Like, you're not confident for the weekend then.
Southampton, I'm like...
If you want to earn some money, they have not scored a home goal in 6 games.
Yeah,
they're going to score against us.
Yeah.
They're going to score against us, so I'm going to slap a bet on the weekend, I think.
What, it's going to scoring a goal? Or...
Just them to score a goal.
Yeah,
I
guess
so. They haven't scored a goal. They haven't scored a fucking home goal in 6 games. Incoming 6-0 win for Southampton.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, but like, the season starts really for us. That's the test for us. That is a team who is, on paper, some will probably say level, some might say we've got the edge on them in terms of quality on the pitch. And we won there last year. And we have Antonio back, supposedly, for that game.
Well, he won't be starting, will he?
No, I think he'll be on the bench by the looks of it.
Definitely.
Alright, if that means he doesn't get injured straight away, I'm fine with it. Like, because I don't want to be sitting here next week being like, why the fuck did we rush him back? You know. But it looks like we're going to be going into that game probably with the same starting 11.
Yeah.
Fucking play a lot of those players need to fucking improve, like big time.
Can't wait to see Ayew again.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the thing is though, he's going to need to step up because very soon Antonio is going to be back. Very soon, he's going to be back.
I cannot wait. Like.
Yeah.
Someone who understands how to fucking use his legs.
Exactly. I can't wait. Yeah, I think Lanzini we missed for his creativity, but Antonio was the one for me that we've really missed the most.
Yeah, definitely.
Just his work effort and his running, and he would have definitely had created more chances than Ayew or Fernandez did.
I don't think there's much else that needs to be said about that.
I want to give a mention for Declan Rice, who looks...
Yeah, no, fair play to that guy, because on the last video, I sat there and said that I didn't think he was cut out for the Premier League, and he's made me look like a prick. So
yeah, I thought 18-year-olds to come on at Old Trafford and play about half an hour's worth. He looked really composed. I mean, it's the stats that came out after the end of the game, like he didn't give the ball away. He had a really good passing rate.
Out of position as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think he's one of them. No one quite has figured it out yet, whether he's centre back or a centre midfielder. But he's 18, like he will learn. Like Reece Oxford's in the same sort of boat, isn't he? Like where's his best position?
Yeah.
Yeah, not good, but we need to. It needs to be better on Saturday. And I'm. Is a draw a good result for you?
Yeah. Only losing 1-0 would be a good result for me at the moment. But, we should win it. We should win it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But looking at the mentality of our players, should and could are two very different things at the moment. You know what we're like, man? We're the type of pricks that will fucking lose against them, Huddersfield and Newcastle. Spurs just won up at our place and we'll beat them 1-0 and think nothing of it.
Yeah.
Like...
well, we said in the last one that Bilic, we said what 10, 15 games. That's one.
Yeah, that's one. 9 to go.
That's one.
I said 10.
I'm gonna say this. We're going to that Huddersfield game with 0 fucking points.
Questions to be asked.
If we go into that Huddersfield game with 0 points, I would not be surprised if that Huddersfield game is make or break for him. Because how long do you leave it? Do you know what I mean?
That's a fair point.
With the money being spent, I'm not saying I want it to happen. Like I reckon we'll beat Newcastle because I don't think. Yeah, they're compact and they're, organised and whatever. But I just don't see. I don't think they have enough quality to.
It's just they score against us first, though, isn't it?
I'm not seeing the quality in their team that they'll get that many goals.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
But yeah, I mean that's I'm getting ahead of myself. That's week's way. We should have enough to beat Southampton. A draw would not be terrible, but I would expect us to win that game. As for Manchester United, fuck me. That is
they're winning it for me. They're winning it at the very least. They'll have a Premier League title, but come the end of the season. But I said that.
You've made a prediction for the last 3 seasons, to be fair.
But they look like this is the first Man United team where I sat there and watched them play from beginning to end, and by the time they finished, I sat there and thought, "Well, fuck me." Like, there's not.
They've got for the first time. I don't think they've had in a long while. They've got an actual solid spine to that team,
and it's fucking scary.
De Gea, Bailly, Matic, Pogba, Lukaku.
Matic and Pogba, yeah.
That's you can fit people in and around there then, and it works.
And they're still eyeing up Ibrahimovic.
Yeah,
like, Lukaku isn't enough. Like, ignoring the fact that they also have like fucking Martial and
Rashford.
Whatnot.
It's the most organised, it's the most confident United have seen. Like I know it's off one game and we did roll over and drop past, but they looked ruthless. They went out there. They were sort of had a point to. Like what's the expression? Like they were sort of laying down like a marker. Like here, like this is what we're about this season. This is what we want to do. Like no more fucking about. We're fucking taking this seriously.
But going off those first weekend games, I mean, other than Huddersfield, but I think Huddersfield are gonna do a hole. I think they're gonna start off stonky and then and slowly but surely fade back. But there is no other team that have played that first week of games where I sat there and thought, "Well, fuck me, they look good." Like,
I think it's like we said earlier. We said that Liverpool don't look any different. Arsenal don't look any different. Chelsea in that game looked worse.
Yeah, Man City don't look any different. I mean, you said they look tighter in defence, but
yeah, you're comparing that against them playing Brighton.
They were playing Brighton, yeah.
Spurs, whenever their next game up against one of the bigger teams is going to be a test for them. Like I said, a team like Leicester or a team like.
Well, they got Chelsea this Sunday, so.
What's that?
Well, they got Chelsea this Sunday, didn't they? So.
No, Spurs.
Oh, I thought you said Spurs. Sorry.
No. Sorry. But. Yeah, I was having this conversation with my mate at work today, and I reckon I think the game's going to be decided by. I think the title's going to be decided by like a few games. More than likely, probably the Manchester derbies, really. But I think the problem is Mourinho. What Mourinho has on Guardiola is that Guardiola will play that same system regardless. He won't adapt to play. No matter who he's playing, I don't think he'll adapt his system. So when he comes up against like a West Brom or like just a well-drilled, compact team, eventually he will come unstuck because it happened last season. Whereas Mourinho knows the league, knows the other teams, sort of how they play, and he adapts the play around them.
Yeah, well, he did it. He did it for United's home game last season, which was the we went to Watford West Ham that day actually and got absolutely fucked. But
let's just not forget about.
But United were losing that game 2-0, and you could see that Mourinho had all of a sudden changed the system. I mean, they still lost, but the last 25 minutes of that game, it was all Man United.
Yeah.
They are a force to be reckoned with this season. I think in terms of Europe, they won't get that far, but
quarterfinals maybe, depending on if they get.
If United make the quarterfinals, they've had a touch.
Yeah. It all depends on their grouping again, knockouts obviously, but that quarterfinals is normally where you separate the sort of real
men and the
contenders.
boys.
Yeah, exactly.
But by that point, they'll have Ibrahimovic back, and that is a bloke that has had many a season in the Champions League. So I would say don't necessarily completely write him off.
No, of course not. But I think if you're Mourinho, you're looking at going, well, okay, yeah, it would be fucking phenomenal if we won the Champions League, but for Manchester United, they need to have a title again. And I think Mourinho knows that.
Yeah. Well, it will be the thing that keeps him in a job.
Yeah, because they've been basically, for lack of a better expression, they've been basically a meme for the past 6 seasons since Moyes was there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they have.
Ha, look at United in 6th again, or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. But they look fucking ruthless this in that game. And I can't think of many teams that have the ability to stop them. Do you know that's what they looked like? And not just United looking that good again. I can't remember a Mourinho team playing like that since the early Chelsea days.
Yeah.
It looks like Mourinho's got his mojo back.
But it weren't a typical Jose Mourinho performance. It weren't defensively minded.
No.
It was just fucking... Let's just pulverise the opposition until we get what we want.
See, when I said Mourinho back in Chelsea, I meant Mourinho when he was first at Chelsea.
I see, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they used to regularly batter teams 3-4-0, like it was nothing. They would just, when they had Drogba and Lampard in their prime and that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what it reminded me of.
United have got Swansea this weekend. It's a Saturday afternoon kick-off.
Fucking...
It wouldn't surprise me if it was another 4-0, considering Swansea have just lost their best player by a mile.
Yeah.
To a rejuvenated AC Milan, Everton.
Who, last time I checked, we're 2-0 up as we record this in the Europa League qualifier. So that's bully fair.
Didn't they get called off for a little while though because fans were kicking off or something? From what I read.
I don't care. I wasn't following. I don't care about the Europa League until the quarterfinals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, until the finals.
Goes on for exactly. Goes on for so fucking long.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But
who else?
Who else? I think we've got to give mention to Huddersfield. I mean, like you said,
definitely.
Like you said a minute ago, well, not just Huddersfield, Crystal Palace, because we need to talk about Crystal Palace, but I agree with you what you said first and foremost. You think Hull started the season last year, they beat the champions in Leicester, and had won 2 of their opening 3 games, so they had 7 points in the first 3 games. I really like David Wagner. I think the way he sets Huddersfield to play, I think is great and it's exciting. I just don't think I don't know. I think the other teams you've got to look at who are going to be in that sort of conversation of relegation contenders.
Well, it's not going to take the better Premier League teams that long to realise that their whole stand on football is just attack.
Yeah.
And it's not going to take somebody like Jose Mourinho long to realise I'll just keep my back 4 back and nick the ball off of them. Yeah. Which is all it's going to take. And
exactly.
I think that's the same problem that Brighton are going to have as well. Do you know what? Watching Brighton, and I know they were playing Man City, and I'm well aware of the amount of cash that Man City have been put into it, but I'm sitting there watching Brighton at the moment thinking, I can't pick out who's going to score their goals in this team against anyone in the Premier League.
They're more likely to go down for me than Huddersfield are.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because bearing in mind, I said this to you over the weekend, I did say in the last episode, I think Huddersfield could surprise people this season. It wouldn't surprise me if Huddersfield stayed up. But at the same time, I also wouldn't be surprised if they went down, if you know what I mean. But out of all the promoted teams, I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle stayed up either, because, again, it's the Benitez thing.
Yeah.
But Huddersfield potentially could just about nick survival, but... Yeah, I don't know. I don't really...
Excuse me.
I just think, like you said, I think people might... There's a risk of people figuring them out, and it's whether or not Wagner's going to adapt to how he plays.
We ain't got to worry about West Ham figuring them out.
No.
Which is standing out.
Something will happen soon.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out when it eventually happens.
Yeah. Oh, they've scored.
Can't wait till we start winning games so we can be a bit more positive. I'm just really sort of I don't want to talk about fucking... I don't know what you're like. When West Ham don't win, I'm very reluctant to watch Match of the Day. That's why I'm very pleased that we played on the Sunday. Because if we had played on the Saturday and lost, I'd be like, I've got to watch it because I need to talk about it for this. Like,
yeah, that's the. I mean,
so
I
have to watch it.
I watch Match of the Day whether we win, lose or draw because I just like football.
I can't put myself through it again. I can't. I just sit there and go. Even though it's last on, it's going to come up.
I'll just watch it. It
kills me.
When it's the West Ham highlights, it's just a fucking cheeky 5-minute wank or something until it's done. That's normally about the amount of highlights you get out from a West Ham game anyway. Unless it's like us winning, then it's the best 5 minutes. Then it's the best 5 minutes in the world. But
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure we'll be fine this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta say for Huddersfield to come out away from home as well, that's the impressive thing. Was not playing, going to Selhurst Park, which isn't an easy place to go to because the atmosphere is really good over there and their fans are really good. But to turn them over like that, but
a proper American soccer club that. I don't like Crystal Palace. I'm sorry, but they're just. I was speaking to according to the geezer that cleans my shop windows. I know this is sounding really boring, but bear with me. It's a strange team to not like, but there's something about Crystal Palace that just wind me up. A football club that has cheerleaders, and just an American I'm waiting for fucking the zombie body of Jimi Hendrix to come out through the centre circle.
They have an eagle as well. They have an actual eagle, don't they?
Of course they fucking do. And that tosser with a drum. You weren't banging your fucking drum when you were 3-0 down this weekend, were you bastard?
Nor were they when they were 3-0 down at the London Stadium last season. But mate, I was fucking I was sat next to the away fans last year when we played Palace, and it got tedious after about 5 minutes. That fucking chant as well.
I don't know what they chant.
All fucking game. Give it a rest.
It's just a drum.
Yeah. I don't actually mind. I'm not big on Palace, but I've got a guy on Facebook who's like, I know him through work, and he's a huge Palace fan. He's been going there years, like seasons ago and everything. He put a thing up on Facebook about it, and he said, I don't think I've ever watched a game of football where every single player on the pitch looked out of position. That's how he summed it up. Which I thought.
It's a John.
And you know what? I saw that and then watched.
It's the John Travolta gif, isn't it? Just.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I saw that. I saw him put it up on Facebook, and then went and watched Match of the Day, and I was like, yeah, I see what he means.
Yeah.
Completely see what he means.
Yeah.
Clueless. I mean, they could be ones that could sneak in could be down there again this year, because I know he's not managed in the league before, but off the back of that,
who, Palace?
Yeah, I mean off the back of that performance, if he ain't got them players
with some of the names they've got, they definitely shouldn't be. They fucked it by letting Big Steve go anyway.
Big Steve.
Yeah, man, Steve Mandanda. Steve.
Oh,
that is the only thing I would give Crystal Palace. The only thing. Best chance.
I completely forgot about that. Steve. Fair play to him. I will give him that one.
That's the only thing I'll give him.
Yeah. But in saying that though, I think we've seen. I mean, fuck! I saw Newcastle get relegated when they had Michael Owen as their striker. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that was a Michael Owen that passed it to be fair.
Yeah. And way back when we got relegated, when we had like Joe Cole, Jermaine Defoe, Di Canio, Canute, like.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like so. I think De Boer will be one of them. But I mean, again, one game can't predict the whole season. But based off of that, man, if you've had a nearly enough full pre-season, those players still don't really understand what they're doing. It's not good, is it? Like,
no,
it's not great.
Yeah, it's a fair point. But yeah, fair play to Huddersfield. Like, enjoy it while it lasts.
I wish them all the best, though, to be honest, because I like the fact that Bournemouth are still in the league.
Yeah, no, same.
And I think
they could be the new Bournemouth. They could be that like mid-table Premier League.
Yeah, which would be great. I think it would be fantastic for them. I think
they're just fearless. Like,
you know, there are some clubs that I just don't. I'd rather see them remain in the league. There are some clubs that I get bored of. Like Sunderland were it recently, where every fucking season, this is the year they're going to go down. Oh no, they fucking somehow stayed up. Now I've got to put up with it again next season. Wigan used to be like it. Villa were that team. Like, those teams need to fuck off. Swansea, they can go. Do you know what I mean? Like,
although we need to be careful because there's many a fan out there that could turn around and say West Ham could slowly but surely become that team that just fucking do pony for weeks on end and then have a bit of a scrap. then finish being pony again, but somehow manage to stay up. I mean,
if it comes, if that happens, it won't. If that if that happens, I'll obviously hold my hands up and be like, yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, I mean, you look at last season, there was easily, 8, 9 teams that could have been relegated. There was barely anything in it.
Yeah, I think that whole bottom half, there was like, for a while there was like 6 points separating. Well, you think that we finished like, what, a point off 8th?
Yeah.
It says a lot.
Yeah.
That if we had not bottled that, if Randolph hadn't given Sunderland that last minute equaliser, we would have somehow finished 8th last season.
Not our problem anymore.
Yeah, good luck, Borough. Right, so I mean that's pretty much the weekend stuff.
That is the Prem dealt with.
That is the Prem dealt with. I think we've seen again, like we keep saying, I don't think you can predict too much.
If we've missed anyone's teams, we're not sorry. It's just your team needs to play a better brand of football.
I was going to say, if you're sitting there going, oh, why don't you talk about the fucking Southampton West Brom game?
It's because you're shit.
It's because it was there to talk about. It was like, or what was it? No, Southampton, Swansea, I think they played. It was like goalless. Who cares?
Sorry. It was Pulis's like 19th millionth 1-0 win. Well done.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, we will try and talk about as many teams in relative detail and spread out throughout the season, but I can't sit here and do 10 minutes on.
You know what we get to
game
do?
was 1-0.
You know what we get to do now that we've touched on all the games?
Go on.
The fucking Jonathan Calleri goal of the week.
Yes. Now, this is something that we spoke about when we were, organising this podcast for the first time, and I said as a joke, but also that hint of like, if he buys into this, though, it's going to become a thing. Talking about doing like a little mini feature that I've named the Jonathan Calleri goal of the week. Of course, named after West Ham's greatest striker last season.
Last season ever. Period.
Ever. The reincarnated Carlos Tevez, the man who was so skillful that he was able to hit a shot and be like, right, no, I could bounce in the top corner, but I'm just going to instead ricochet off this defender's arse, make him look silly, and still score.
Exactly.
Guy's a baller.
Yeah, exactly. Totally underrated. Should never have been let go. But yeah,
I think we might have the same one.
Go on.
I'm going to nominate Ward from Burnley for his stonking finish against Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean, honourable mentions. Pogba. His goal was pretty good. It was a typical Pogba goal, weren't it? Like,
The reason I'm reluctant to give it to him because for someone who is as good of a shot as he is, I imagine it would be quite easy to find a back of net when the entire West Ham defence is standing off him. But
yeah, no, it's going to have to go to your boy, fucking
Ward. Stephen Ward? Joel Ward? I don't know.
It's one of the two. We'll just say Ward.
Ward of Burnley. So Ward of Burnley. We'll call him.
Ward of Burnley. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah. Like,
well done. Yeah, well done. I'm sure he's delighted.
Well done.
I'm sure he's.
You're not getting anything physical, but you are getting respect.
Well, I think the mention on this show that currently has 8 subscribers is definitely enough for him.
He gets respect, and there's a lack of that nowadays. So you're welcome, son. You're welcome. But what was the other thing we said? There was the Jonathan Calleri goal of the week, and then we one other. The pulling a West Ham of the week.
The pulling a West Ham of the week. Sure. Okay. Do you remember what we? Oh, sorry, go on.
So it was somebody or a team that managed to fuck it, essentially. Pulling West Ham.
Given the results of the weekend, do we have to include West Ham in this, or is it because it's called the pulling the West Ham, we kind of can't include them?
Potentially.
Okay.
But I don't think it would be fair to include West Ham in this one because...
We thought we were going to lose anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. But I think one person that could be nominated for it is John Joe Shelby. Gets given the captaincy. Yeah. Fucks it within a minute.
I would say that is a decent shout. I would also like to... You have to mention Chelsea. Have to. Yeah. Defending champions and getting turned over 3-0 by fucking Burnley. No disrespect to Burnley, but come on. That's not good.
I've got one other mention as well. It goes out to the lawyers of FC Barcelona for sitting there and going, I simply won't accepting PSG's money will prevent Neymar from going to a different team, and subsequently Neymar buying himself out of his own contract.
Oh, do you know, I think that might have to be the winner. That is actually fantastic. Yeah. Fair play. So, but the Barcelona lawyers get the pulling a West Ham award for this week.
Yeah, yeah. Again, you don't get nothing physical, but
Well, no. If anything, you lose out. In their
you
case.
do get an honourable mention of basically being a helmet.
Yeah.
So
well, that is a decent enough segue, I think, to move us into some cheeky bit of transfer talk. Because we're clearly that much of a high class sort of podcast.
I feel like we need theme music for all these different segments.
Do you reckon?
Fucking
I'll sort it out.
Transfers.
All right, I'll tell you what. You said. All right. Every time we do for the rest of this window's open, every time we discuss transfers, you have to do that as the jingle.
Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, let's do a test run. So now
I've just done it. I've just knocked the camera over. What else do you
Okay.
want? Jesus Christ! I'm not a performing monkey, but
if you can come up with banging jingles, mate, you might have to be. So, I mean, since we last recorded, it's been I don't think any major transfers have happened, have they? I don't think anything big, world-breaking record transfers have taken place. It's been a bit quieter, isn't it?
yeah. Oh fuck!
Alright, since you're wearing the shirt,
Yeah,
go on.
your boys, FC Barcelona, have decided to royally fuck themselves and lose one of the best players by a substantial mile as well. Like, he's very, very good. He's very, very good. He's very good. And the only way I can describe this is as follows. Is PSG and the Qatari Prince have basically turned up and just flossed man up. They've just they've just pulled that out of the bag and they've just gone, there's your P, he's our boy. And lo and behold, he is now a PSG fan. So that's your money, by the way, for the tickets.
Oh, is it really? Oh, brilliant. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much for that.
But yeah, in a nutshell, I read something interesting about that as well. It's serious, Andrew. Now,
yeah.
It's down as the most expensive transfer. Yeah. Now, have you read the story behind it?
So, from my understanding, correct. So here's what I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. From the sounds of it, Neymar bought himself out of the contract.
Yes.
Effectively became a free agent.
Yes.
PSG signed him and then basically gave him the money back for what the release clause was.
Yeah. Well, he didn't give any money back.
No, but I'm saying the PSG pay him the equivalent of it, sort of thing.
So the Qatari Prince, so PSG had nothing to do with this. Qatari Prince owns Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, I think I've got that right. Anyway, I'm sure someone at some point will watch this video and go, "Prick, you got it wrong." Yeah. So he's given Neymar the money, and Neymar's solicitors have gone to Barcelona's headquarters, have basically strutted into the building and just paid 200 million, which releases Neymar from his contract with Barcelona. With what you were saying, him then becoming a free agent.
Right.
So he then goes and signs a contract with PSG and blah, 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 blah. Now, the first argument could be that there was no actual transfer fee that was paid. So he was effectively a free transfer. So it doesn't make him the most expensive if you want to be that much of a fucking bonehead moron about it. But it was, as far as I'm aware, it was on the understanding that Neymar will become the poster boy of the Qatari World Cup.
Yeah,
which is a strange one for me because I mean that boy's going to be playing as part of a Brazilian team. Now Qatar are going to have a team there because if you hold the World Cup, you field a team.
Yeah.
How can he be the poster boy for a World Cup, endorsing a country when his own country?
I think it says more about that says everything you need to know about the reputation and state of Qatari football, I suppose.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, to a degree, you could also flip the argument around and say it says a lot about Neymar himself.
It does, yeah, it does. And I think you only got to look at the effect. I know it was Brazil's World Cup, but you've only got to look at the effect of he was the poster boy for when Brazil hosted the World Cup.
But that makes sense.
I know. But in terms of like, even from a commercial standpoint, because of who he is, like, if you call the probably like the ad revenues and all that sort of stuff, then Qatar probably seen it and gone, well, I mean, let me put it this way: name me one professional Qatar football player.
I couldn't.
Exactly. So you could stick someone from there who plays for over there as on an advert for whoever one of the World Cup sponsors, and you should be like, wouldn't even know he's a footballer. Do you know what I mean? You stick Neymar on there.
Yeah.
It's a face that's recognisable around the world. Like it's like Ronaldo and Messi.
For me, it's a farce, and the World Cup should be out there in the first place.
No, it shouldn't do.
Not with the countless amounts of people that have died whilst the stadiums are being built, and I know you could argue the case that could happen anywhere around the world.
Yeah, but to the extent, the sheer numbers though, like alone,
it's ridiculous.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
There's the odd accident, and there's just fucking shoddy, corrupt, fucking just bollocks. That is, it's fucking disgrace what's going on out there, and fucking the fact that
a World Cup should never be held 4 weeks before Christmas. That's a weird one. That's a weird one because it fucks. I mean, okay, teams that don't have a winter break, but even then, they don't have 4 weeks of winter break. They have 2 weeks, so they've still got to allow for the extra 2 weeks. Premier League then fucked.
Premier League completely fucked. Don't remember, I love the World Cup. I love Christmas, but I don't want those two fucking together. No. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's a summer thing.
I think the 2022 World Cup, the World Cup final, will be on the 23rd of December. So that's 2 days before Christmas Day.
So a week before my birthday.
It's not right. It's not right.
It's not. No, it's not right. In fact, I'm so. But like, I've got. So
I
I've
mean,
got.
I'm not the World Cup that was held in Japan, there was a lot of, if I remember rightly, there was a lot of talk about how hot it was going to be out there. They just roofed the stadiums off and inbuilt air conditioning. Yeah,
and they had that in South Africa as well, saying about how hot it was going to be, and that. Fucking weather conditions are one thing. I don't, unless it's a fucking, you know, you're playing in fucking 4 inches of snow or all the pitches, every pitch is waterlogged, then yeah, all right. But if it's too hot, you have water breaks now. You have the different training to deal with it. That's fine. The fact of the matter is that World Cup's going to be, by the looks of it, held in winter. It's going to be in a country that is, let's face it, bought that World Cup. Yeah, allegedly, fine, whatever, because I want to get sued. But like, fucking, you can't tell me that.
I bought it. Come at me, FIFA.
Yeah,
I've got about 100 quid in my wallet. In about 2 days, that's going to be like,
yeah. I think the World Cup's a shambles. I think the transfer is a bit of a fucking farce as well.
The Neymar trial. Yeah, it's an absolute farce.
Complete fucking farce.
It just makes the whole sport a joke as well. But luckily enough, it didn't happen in the Premier League. It happened in a 2-bit shit league where there's 3 teams in it. Like,
because it's, I'm trying to think. It's weird. It's difficult for me to explain it. But it's like I said, when it happened, I can really sort of describe it. I just sort of felt a bit like, this just feels gross.
It was the.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it was the shit leading up to it as well. It's like, oh look, PK posted a selfie with him saying he's staying. Oh, maybe now he's not staying. Oh, he is staying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't think it was going to happen. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen. But
I don't think anybody did. But
no.
It's just a farce.
Yeah.
It's just everything.
It makes the Bale transfer, which at the time everyone was like, "That's ridiculous, £100 million for a player." But I mean, that was ridiculous.
You could understand it a bit more with Bale though.
He was going to strengthen the Real Madrid side. He wasn't going there as a poster boy.
No, he was one of the top players in the most competitive league in the world, and then he switched over to who is debatably one of the best teams in the world. I mean, some could probably argue that it's not as competitive as the Premier League.
Regardless,
but it's still a well-renowned league. Like, you look at La Liga, and it's like if you had that league in the UK and the Spanish had the Premier League where they were, you'd still both be pretty fucking happy.
Exactly.
What was the excuse he used? He doesn't want to be in Messi's shadows. Newsflash, dickhead. It don't matter where you're playing your football. You're still going to be in his shadows. And if you're not in his shadow, you're just going to be in Ronaldo's shadow instead. Like, Neymar will be the best player in the world when those two retire.
Oh, unquestionably.
And by then, he's got to deal with Antoine Griezmann, who come fourth fourth.
Believe so.
It was last year. It was Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Griezmann.
Right.
But it's just ridiculous.
Fuck it, I don't buy that. I don't buy that as a thing. Like, oh, I don't want to be a Messi shadow. Like, blah blah. Messi's what, 30 or coming off for 30?
Yeah.
Neymar's 25. Okay. Oh, so if Neymar was around any other time, he would be where Messi and Ronaldo are now. It's just unfortunate for him that he is hitting his prime in a time where he exists in a world that also has Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it says more about him. It's clearly about personal ambition, which, okay, may not be a terrible thing to have. But, I don't know. Like I said, it just feels all just a bit...
Dirty.
Just gross and dirty, yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck to him, mate. I mean, fuck it. I mean, we've said the same thing. He's going to be playing in a shit league.
Yeah.
Like, that seems to be the common opinion.
Yeah.
I'll
And do you
say
know
this.
what? Even if PSG do win the Champions League this year, I still don't think it'll be enough for him to win the Ballon d'Or. I really don't.
No, it won't. It won't. He'd have to win a World Cup, Champions League, and the league.
Everything.
Like
Everything. He'll have to do that and cure cancer at the same time.
Yeah, like basically, yeah. I mean, look, in terms of the shit league thing, like Hugh Wizzy made a really good point. He said that it's a bit, even it is a bit snobbish to have that opinion in the French league when you think of the last few Player of the Year winners in the Premier League: Hazard, Kante, Mahrez, all came from the French league. I know he didn't win it, but Dimitri Payet came over to the Premier League and was for one season phenomenal. So I do get what he's saying. And I'm not saying the French league doesn't produce great players, but you look at that league, you cannot call that league competitive.
That's not. I don't think that's fair to turn around and say that. Like, there's one thing a league being able to push out decent players, but half the time clubs bet on a player. Yeah, so we betted on Payet. We bet on Payet, like because we knew we were aware of his ability on the ball, but we took a chance on him because we were also aware of what his attitude was like.
Yeah,
like. Good players don't define a league.
Yeah.
For me, so I think Wizzy turning around and saying that, or if you look at the calibre of players that have come out of the league, yes, but they made a name for themselves when they played in a better league. Like Hazard may have come out of Liga. No one gave a fuck about Hazard whilst he was in Liga. Everyone now gives a fuck about Hazard because he's playing in what is debatably one of the best leagues in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's all well and good talking about what a player was like when they were unknown. Do you know what I mean? You could be the fucking, like, the greatest fucking centre midfielder that no one currently knows about. Like, for me, that's irrelevant. It's what they do when they go to the decent leagues. Now, I guess the conflicting argument could be that Neymar's just come out of one of the best leagues in the world. But it's like, fuck that, go to the Premier League then. You want to know?
I was about to say to you, if, let's say, this was Man City, who basically went the exact same route the PSG went and got Neymar for that amount of money, would it make it any less like you said, sort of like dirty and fast and a fast and sort of stuff? Because you would look at it going, well, all right, this is, if he's going to prove himself, if he can prove himself in the Premier League, like he has with the Liga, then he...
For the amount of money, yes. But then if he pushed out the same reasons of, I didn't want to be caught in Messi's shadows and I want to win a Ballon d'Or, you could understand it a little bit more because he's gone to a like-for-like league.
Yeah.
He'd still be caught in the shadows of those two.
A league that he's going to have even more pressure on him. Because no one is sitting there going, he's going to really struggle in that league. Do you know what I mean? He's going to really struggle to make an impact. No, not a chance. Like, everyone knows he's going to go there and he's going to be he's going to score like 50 odd goals a season, numerous assists, fucking all that and all that.
Yeah.
It's never a guarantee you come to the Premier League and you'll set the world alight. There never is.
No, it's not. Look at Shevchenko.
Yep. Shevchenko, fucking every player Newcastle signed over the past year.
The move, for me, the move makes sense for him. All these Brazilian, half of his Brazilian teammates are there. He's obviously happy there. If you see his shit that he posts on Instagram and whatnot, the dude's buzzing. He's playing with all his mates.
Fun.
He's earning a shitload of money, and then from that angle, you can sit there and go, "Oh, good, I'm pleased for him." But don't fucking pull the wool over people's eyes and turn around and say like, "I'm doing this to better myself." You're not bettering yourself. You're in an overly comfortable league where the average score that you're going to pick up this year is at least 3-0.
This is the thing. I can't see him really. Is he going to improve? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is my point about going to the Premiership. If he comes to the Premiership, at least then he's playing a much more competitive, a much faster league, and he's going to have to improve his game a little bit more. If he, you know, you're going to have to adapt to that. He could coast that league at about 60% of what his actual ability is.
Yeah.
As long as he turns it up on for the Champions League games.
Do you know what? I hope Barcelona fucking meet PSG in the quarterfinals or semi-final, or the finals. The final would be fucking magnificent, and I hope they dick them. Literally, I hope they fuck them. Like,
because I saw as well there was this speculation that this all stemmed supposedly, this one of the theories, all stemmed from after Barcelona did that comeback against PSG in the Champions League last season. When they were 4-0 down from the first leg, came back and won like 6-4 or something ridiculous.
I know the game, but what do you mean it stemmed?
Well, apparently it stemmed from that because Barca tweeted out a picture of the crowd lifted Messi up on his shoulders, and it was just Messi in the picture on the Barcelona Twitter page, where obviously he's pretty much accepted that Neymar was a huge part of that turnaround, and he was like played out of his skin that night. Not that arguably better than Messi.
All the British newspapers were all saying Neymar was.
Yeah. But
if Neymar weren't there that night, they wouldn't have done it.
People exactly. But it has been suggested in places that he saw that and saw it as Messi being the main person in that picture, suggesting that it was, he's one being lifted up by the crowd by himself. Look at me, like the fucking chosen one. Do you know what I mean? And it implies that it's because of him that they managed to turn it around. I'm not saying if that is true, that's an acceptable excuse. Because if you're a footballer getting fucking arsey over a tweet,
well, it's pulling a Yaya Toure, isn't it? It's just a birthday cake thing all over again.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Like I said, it all just feels a little bit.
Do you know what? Seeing how far from reality footballers are now, it wouldn't fucking surprise me. If
it wouldn't. That's the sad thing. That is a really sad thing.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, in answer to your question, no, I think it's a fucking farce. I think it made a joke with the sport that so many people love, other than PSG fans who are obviously fucking ecstatic. And it's like, good for you, but you're still in a shit league.
Yeah. And they still lost the league last season with that squad.
Yeah.
Like, not taking anything away from Monaco, but come on, like. Oh fuck me! Oh yeah,
they should be fucking skipping that league and being about 40 odd points clear. Like
they were when Ibrahimovic was there.
Mm.
It's going to be that again for the next fucking God knows how many years. But who cares? Like just the French. Really, the only time we're going to be paying attention to PSG this season is in the Champions League. It's the only time people are going to give a shit about them.
Pretty much. And
not even him. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be.
Bringing up Neymar, though, I guess that brings us up to Spain's equivalent of the Community Shield. You might say.
Yeah, was it over like 4 legs or something?
Two. Yeah, it's 2 legs. So,
it is 2 legs. Okay.
Yeah, so Barcelona played at home at first, got banged. Then they went to Real Madrid last night, got banged.
Yeah. Now I didn't watch. I somehow completely forgot these games were on, and I missed them. I'm being honest.
I watched them both. I mean, the talking point of the first leg is Ronaldo's thunder cunt of a goal, and then subsequently getting sent off, and now looking at a 5-match ban, all in the space of about 3 minutes.
Didn't he push the referee or something?
Yeah, he did.
Amazing.
Pushed him. It was and then sort of strutted off the pitch. Well, he got a yellow card for celebrating. He took his t-shirt off and did his usual fucking flexy shit.
Yeah.
Then he got taken out in the box, which was actually outside the box. He asked for a penalty. Instead, got a second yellow for diving. Simulation.
Cheating, some say.
Yeah, that was that first game in a nutshell. Barcelona got fucked. Watching Barcelona is weird at the moment. They keep naturally playing to the left-hand side where Mr. Captain Floss would have been.
Captain Floss, fucking hell, that's
But
brilliant.
he's not there.
No, was it Deulofeu?
He's just shit. He's just not very good.
Couldn't get into the team, could he? I mean, I was going to ask you because obviously you watched the two games, and I think Barca. From what it looks like, the last few years, Real Madrid have sort of taken over Barca.
Not over the last few years. Last year, yeah. You like last year, definitely. When Zidane sort of like moonwalked into the fucking squad, like
yeah, since Zidane came in, there's been a bit of a shift.
Last year was his first full season,
yeah.
And like, so the thing is, you listen to the commentators for the La Liga stuff on Sky Sports, and they sit there and they're so far up Zidane's arse, it's unbelievable. Like, yes, they won the league, but they didn't win it by a shitload of points. I think there was like 3 points in it, if that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But Real Madrid had a shit run just like Barcelona last season, and that's what people seem to forget with that league. It's just that Real Madrid managed to pull themselves out of that shit run really quickly. That's the only difference between the two. Not taking anything away from Zidane. He's obviously a very competent manager. They won the Champions League,
twice,
won the Liga. They did the treble, or what is it they called it, the Decima or something like that. But
I'm not cultured enough to learn all the Spanish saints, unfortunately.
But Madrid and Madrid, basically, what you see is what you get. Like, they're absolutely stonking, but they've got world-class players.
See, it strikes me from the outside looking in that Barca seem to be in some sort of transition period, and that's not including Neymar at the moment. Like,
I wouldn't call
a lot of their players seem to be on the way out, so to speak. Iniesta getting on a bit, Messi getting like Suarez entering their sort of last prime years.
They were dealing with that as it was anyway, but the loss of Neymar has knocked into sixth.
Well, I think Neymar was the key, wasn't it? It was like they're going to not be here for a couple of months, but who knows? But you're going to sort of take it on.
Yeah, and it's kind of gutting to watch, to be honest, because you're aware. I follow Barcelona. It's one team outside England that I genuinely enjoy watching.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad to watch. They're effectively pulling a Man United. It's just that they've not had 25 years of constant success. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they've had that gap of about 8 years where they've just been fucking unbelievable, and no one's managed to come anywhere near them. And it's a reality check for him now. It's like all your players are getting old. Iniesta's got, I think, a season left in him. But
what was it Piqué said after the second leg? He's like, it's the first time he's felt inferior to Madrid.
And they were inferior. Madrid put out a second string as Madrid can get last night, and they still banged them 2-0. That's the first El Clasico game in 23 games where Barcelona haven't scored.
Yeah, it's the thing is as well. You do kind of. It seems weird to say this, but you think of the players that they seem to be going after to replace Neymar. Not knocking him. I don't see Coutinho as a replacement for Neymar. I don't see him as a left winger. I see him as a cam.
He's better as a cam, and that's where Messi prefers playing now.
And I don't see.
And saying that, they've just lost Suarez for 4 weeks as well.
Yes,
he's out with a knee injury, so they now don't have a striker. Well, they have Alcacer, but he's shit compared to Suarez.
Oh God, yeah. Like
there's not many strikers that are good compared to Suarez, but
does it seem like Barca are going to struggle to? I can't. It seems weird to say it. It's just like Barca are going to be struggling to attract those sort of players now. Like, because it's if.
No, I think Barcelona's problem will be that all the other clubs around the world are aware of how much money Barcelona are currently sitting on.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to fucking rinse them for every penny. Let me put it this way: there is no way they're going to be able to afford Coutinho and Dembele, considering they've just bought Paulinho as well, 40 million.
Yeah, that's a fucking weird one. Like, I'm not saying he's a terrible, terrible player. Like,
well, the idea is to put him in there alongside Biscuits, isn't it?
Yeah.
because they're not happy with what's his face, the Portuguese dude.
Gomez.
Yeah, they're not happy with Gomez.
Right.
Like, he's a player that sort of appears off the bench, but not regularly.
Yeah.
He's like a, oh shit, we're in trouble, push him out kind of player. But yeah, no, it's sad to see. It is sad to see because they've been a force to be reckoned with. But I guess it's a reality check for them. United have had to go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and you like to AC Milan in Italy and whatnot have had to go through the same thing as well.
Well, I've seen people say as well they don't like the idea of Barca spending, 200 million or 100 million on one player because they to replace Neymar. They like the idea of them bringing through like a Catalonian, like a youth player, like they've done.
There isn't anyone.
Yeah, I think those days are. Different clubs seem to go through different phases. I think of getting a certain crop of youth come through.
Their academy is having a similar problem to our academy. Is that for years we were farming people like your likes of Ferdinand and fucking Joe Cole and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's all of a sudden just stopped.
Well, it's the thing we have spells. So United had 92. We had like this sort of like early 90s, late 80s sort of thing, and fucking Southampton had like the last sort of 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And Everton are having a pretty good crop of youngsters come through at the moment.
And at the moment, it's Spurs' time to shine.
And now Spurs as well, for the last couple of years.
You look at their squad, and credit to them.
Yeah,
a fair amount of their squad is people that have come up through their academy. So,
but I think every now and then a club is going to go for a bit of a barren spell of not having the next. I mean, what are the odds of them having the next Messi in straight away?
That won't happen in our lifetime, mate.
No.
I mean, I mean, maybe not necessarily your parents, but I mean, my dad's in his early 60s now, and he could remember the likes of fucking like the late era of like Pele and shit like that. Yeah. And it's like we've effectively had two Pelés, and we're in our 20s in Ronaldo and Messi.
I'd say we've had a Pele and a Maradona. I think that's probably a better way of looking at it, I suppose.
Yeah. But
it is what. Yeah, I think it is concerning to see Barca because I just the real test for me is what will happen when Messi eventually retires. Because I know you got
their idea is for Alcacer to effectively be that gap filler, but he ain't gonna be. I can see Barcelona fucking losing their shit in the end and just going for Griezmann or someone like that.
I think Dybala would be a good player for them. I think.
Well, there was rumours, but there's also rumours that they want Di Maria and Coutinho and anyone with 2 feet who can play football.
Anyone who can play left wing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But for me, Barcelona won't win the title this season. They'll be fortunate if they get a cup run. Considering how everyone's strengthened in terms of the Champions League, and they simply haven't. I don't think they're gonna be that good in the Champions League. No. La Liga will be out of Atletico Madrid and
Real,
and with a slight outside chance for I always get the two mixed up. I'm going to say Valencia, but I might be wrong with.
Do you mean Villarreal?
Them, yeah.
Yeah.
Out of those three, but it's more than likely going to be Madrid.
Yeah. No, I agree. Spot on for me. It's coming from someone who's just sort of getting outside looking in, doesn't pay as much attention to La Liga as like you obviously do, or even just Barcelona as you do. But like, it does just seem they're going through this weird. I guess transition phase is probably.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say, but it was a forced transition phase, and this
is something they weren't prepared for.
Yeah. That definitely weren't prepared for it, and I don't think they were prepared for Neymar's lawyers strutting into the office.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think the Neymar thing is what they weren't prepared for. I think you can sit there and go, okay, well, Messi's going to be retiring in about say 5 years max, but we've got Neymar, like he's that natural successor to that. Now he's effectively they have to scrap that now, and I'm not saying this season's a write-off, but you kind of have to look at it, I think, because Neymar went so late in the window. You need a summer to overhaul that squad. And
it's not fair to the geezer that's just taken over as well, is it? He's sort of
no, it's not. It's a shitty fucking position to walk in.
Yeah, he sort of walked into the squad, and I won't give it long before the fucking white flags have started waving from the fans, and they're all like,
yeah, it's ruthless. They're
It's
ruthless over there.
Managers in the Premier League think they've got it hard. They want to take a look at that league. Go and have a word with Gary Neville.
Yeah,
But,
Christ.
but Barcelona will get there in the end. They always do.
Oh yeah. Whether it takes 3, 4, maybe 5 years, they'll be back on top.
It just leads on to what I was saying last week about the reputation of the club and in terms of players for the badge and players playing for the money. And Barcelona are that kind of team where a player will go to. Coutinho wants to leave not because of the money, because it's Barcelona.
Yeah.
To be honest, with you, they could call on anyone as long as they're not wearing a Real Madrid top, and they'll more than likely want to go.
Yeah. Well, Mikel Antonio was he was interviewed about it on like I think it was like the BBC thing that's on a weekend before the games kick off. Like,
Football Focus.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he basically said like, well, yeah, Barcelona come call in. You're not turning that down.
Going.
Like,
no, definitely not.
So yeah. Well, sticking with transfers, I think we kind of thought West Ham's business had been done. To bring it back to West Ham, I should say, because we are generally linked with a fairly potential interesting deal, because we thought our business was done when Hernandez finalised his deal, but we've now in recent weeks been linked with William Carvalho.
Yeah.
Which is... that caught me completely off guard. I didn't see that coming.
For me, it's a weird one. I mean, it's a good one, but it's a weird one at the same time. I think we don't need shoring up in that part of the pitch, in my opinion.
I would disagree. I would think that...
He's a defensive midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he's been brought in to be just not to do what Chiarte does, which is just, box to box, forward and back. Even Obiang to some extent. He's like out and out defensive. He's a Matic.
Yeah, he's a Matic.
Big lump in the middle, you stick him in front of that back four and he helps protect that back four, which we are vulnerable to. And I said last week, or not last week, last episode, that I didn't think we needed another centre back because I like our centre backs and I think there is something there. I think Ogbonna as well didn't have a great game, but again, he's just come back from a long injury. I think, cut him a little bit of slack for that. But I think if you have someone there who is just fucking help offer them that protection and doesn't leave them as exposed as they often were last season and in that United game, it does make sense to me. Because
do you think the club will pay the 40 million that they're asking for?
I think there'll be a compromise. I don't think it will come to that, but I think there will be a compromise. I think they'll probably up the actual full-on price, but
yeah, it'll probably end up being like 35 million with like 5 million add-ons.
Well, the player wants to go. I think Sporting's apparently this is something that Portuguese clubs do tend to do a fair amount. They'll agree a price, and then once they don't go, actually no, we want up front now. I think it's like. I think they'll be fine. I think we'll get it done. It might take a while, but until I hear anything different, I think we'll be all right. But like I said, I think getting a defensive midfielder makes sense. Like an out and out, your job is to protect our back four. I think it is something that we do need. And apparently, the plan is to play him with Chiarte, so it gives Chiarte the freedom to sort of basically. It basically sounds like a B-Tech Popper and Matic. Basically.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
You have someone there whose job it is just to fucking do the defending and the grafting, but if Chiarte, who likes to drive at the fucking the defence and whatnot, the opposite defence, he has the freedom to do that without leaving the back four exposed, which is something that did happen lots last season.
Yeah,
when it was Noble Chiarte playing as a midfield too. And you think when we played as when we had like the back three last season, Obiang was brought in as just a holding midfield player. Because he had like, I know, Lanzini and Noble in front of him. I
just think it's nuts, the idea that he wants to come to us, considering he turned down Arsenal 2 seasons ago.
But apparently he's desperate to join us. When I first saw it, I thought no chance. I thought no chance is that's going to be a difficult one. He's going to turn around and go, no, I want Champions League.
Yeah, that's the other thing that surprised me as well. Have they got to qualify for the Champions League, or are they just in the Champions League?
No, they've got to play a playoff, but they won their first leg fairly comfortably because they're playing like a bunch of farmers.
I'm amazed. I really am. Or maybe he's sitting there thinking, well, I may have Champions League football, but we ain't going to get that fucking far in it.
Yeah. And he might even see it as a stepping stone, which if he does, fine, I'll be right. If we get 2 or 3 good seasons out of him and flog him on for like 80 million in a few years, bring it on.
It's a fair point, yeah.
And he's only like 24, 25.
I thought he was 23.
It might even be that, yeah. He's very young, like... it wasn't that long ago. He was playing for Portugal's under-21s. So
he's got that Diego Costa look on his face though. He looks older than what he is.
Sure, I did. Again, because you are watching a few YouTube clips. He the bloke can tackle. He's got a few like old school tackles in him, which like.
Oh, I'll like him then.
Yeah,
I
like
him.
Him.
That's why I fell in love with Byron with the fucking shoulder barges and shit. Like,
yeah, I love players who get stuck in. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Instant yellow card, but so worth it. Like,
yeah.
But yeah.
If we pull this one off, yeah, I think we've got. Well, again, like we said last time, Bilic has got no excuses.
No, we ain't got excuses already, but
yeah. Well, we've got the fact it's United as an excuse, but
there was in terms of West Ham transfers, there was something else that I saw coming from your boy, ex-West Ham employee, saying about Snodgrass is on the verge of going or something along those lines.
Well, supposedly it looks like he might be going to Villa on loan.
And it's a loan deal.
Well, loan with view to buy by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But I think the club just want him gone. I imagine it'll be a loan, but they'll pay his wages, sort of thing. Which, to be fair, you called it on the last episode. You said he'll go to a Championship club.
Oh yeah. He's Championship quality.
Yeah, and obviously, Steve Bruce had him at Hull, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Massively.
I've got nothing else really to say about that, rather than hopefully it happens sooner rather than later.
Other than
because
fuck off.
Fuck off. Yeah, exactly.
Michael, the diplomatic one out of us two.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, it's just not good enough. Like, he's fucking toss. But like,
yeah,
we have to talk about it. Do you know what's going to happen? Like, he'll sign for him on his debut. He'll score like 2 banging free kicks or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he may do that, but it don't take away the fact that he's a raging penis.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna shed any tears over that. To be perfectly honest.
No, me neither.
All right, we spoke about this before we were going to record. We said we were going to try and do the full league table prediction. I'll be honest, I'm looking at my time.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
No,
I've not had a chance.
Yeah, I'm looking at my time. I'm looking at the time, and we're not going to have time to do that. I think that might be after the transfer window shuts.
Yeah. How long's this gone on for?
We're clocking up to about 2 hours.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, that's going to be like another hour and a half, I think, doing a full fucking rundown. But that will be coming up in a future episode. More than likely once the transfer window shut then, because I think that's probably the best way to.
Yeah, we may have to do that as a separate video, actually.
I reckon that'd be the best thing to do. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. Quick predictions for West Ham against Southampton at the weekend. For shits and gigs.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a fucking extreme with us at the moment, isn't it? We'll either beat them convincingly or we'll lose about 10-0. Like.
Yeah, let's hope for the former.
I'll call it a draw.
Yeah, I think we'll nick it 2-1. Personally, I think we'll nick it 2-1 and then score the winner. That's what I reckon.
That'd be good.
Oh, that's another thing, by the way. This has fucking annoyed me. The club today announced that their store signing on Monday, Chicharito's going to be there.
Yeah, the West Ham.
Yeah, on a fucking Monday from 3 till 5.
Yeah, but the kids are off, aren't they? So...
Fuck him. I want to meet him.
Come on, Michael.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
This is Hernandez.
Yeah, I feel weird going to work, going club at Monday off. Why? I want to meet. I want to meet the love of my life.
Yeah.
You know.
I need to see him in person.
I need to see him in person and just be like, love you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and out of it's changed his shirt number.
He did. He's number 7 now. So that's I'm okay with it.
from the shirt number of the player who will not be named.
Yeah, part of me thought we did that on purpose. Don't know why.
Probably.
Just to sort of be like.
They should just. Do you know what you could imagine? Like when they're talking to players in terms of squad numbers, and this is someone saying, "I want to be number 27." No, don't pick that number.
No. Did you know that he was appointed captain of Marseille in the summer?
Yeah, and then he got subbed or something, didn't he?
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like every time, because you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. No one talks about him anymore. He's become completely irrelevant.
He is irrelevant.
Which is just...
Because he's in an irrelevant league.
Yeah.
It's just like barely anyone's going to talk about Neymar in the next, 6 weeks.
It's like, okay, people are going to... Whether it's because we've played like shit or we're doing alright, people are going to still talk about West Ham. But
yeah,
no one gives a toss about that bloke anymore, and it's fucking brilliant. It's hilarious. I fucking love it. But yeah, I think that is probably going to wrap us up for this week. I think we have pretty much covered everything. So we are going to try and be a bit more frequent with this because, like I said, we did leave it a long time before we actually got everything up and running on YouTube last time.
This one's my fault though because I've been ill for the majority of the week, and we were going to Tuesday.
We were going to do it last at the weekend on Sunday, and I came down with a very shitty headache, and I felt rough, so I was like, "We'll postpone it." And then Andy got ill the next day, so
literally,
it has taken a while. But the aim is to have this up. You should be watching this on Saturday morning. That's my aim to get this up.
You've set yourself.
I've set myself a target. I've set myself up for failure, but. Well, if you are watching this on Saturday morning, I did good. If
you're not going out on the Friday and getting bladdered.
No, I went out Tuesday, and I'm still regretting it. Like, I was not in a good way yesterday. Anyway, that's besides the point. So, thanks very much for joining us for this edition of Hines and Chill. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this all about on Twitter, and we haven't got Facebook, so not Facebook, just share about on Twitter and all that good stuff. Any last departing words, mate?
No.
Nice, short and sweet. I like it. Right, nice one, guys. See you on the next one.
Laters.